go through on the College of Color right here, just to give you guys an idea of what it looks like. So when you click on it and the search, you'll get to this page, and you'll see it's got Bard College of Color from Pete and Jeremy's D&D Time / Fantasy Labs, and it'll have a little front page here, and you can click on it, and wow, it squeezed it for some reason, but you'll see the little note page here. But the big thing is you can see, I see $1. Yes, it's currently on there for $1. That is a, if you think it's worth $1, we really appreciate it. We did not do pay as you want, what you want, for a lot of reasons, but in a way, we've set these up to be sort of pay as you want. So it's $1. With that, you get the PDF all cleaned up, all nice. Just you hit it and you download it, all nice and easy. Looks like we're dropping a couple frames. Hopefully it's not too bad. Twitch is being bad today. But if you don't want to pay $1, let's say, it's a tough month. It's not, you just can't afford to be spending $1 here and there willy-nilly. It'll eat away at you. The stream just lagged out again. Let me know, guys, when the stream's back up. Okay, looks like we're back up. Yeah, let's say, you can't afford to spend $1 here or $1 there, and it all adds up. It just doesn't work for your budget, and we totally understand that. What you can do is you can click on this full-size preview option, and we've set it up that the entire subclass for all of them are going to be available like this. So, it's got this very kind of annoying sample file overlay, but all of the text is still there. You should be able to use it in your stuff. No problem. So if you, just don't want to spend $1, all good. You can always use it like this. And, and Fark is saying, it's not that I can't afford it. Credit card information is the worst to deal with in China. Yeah, well, I'm not sure what the other payment options would be on DM's Guild, even if there are any. But, you can always use this sample file guy and check them out there. All you got to do is scroll up to here, and you can just download them. Be fully available for you guys. Hopefully, hopefully you guys like it, and we appreciate, of course, any of you who want to chip in $1 here and there. It makes us feel good. Our content is worth something to you guys, and over time, it does help. Those little things here and there, just I don't know. But I figured what I would do is I would take a quick minute here. Sorry, my throat's a little parched. And I'd actually go over for you guys what these subclasses look like. One of the things that we want to do on Fantasy Labs is anything that we create here for you guys that at least in some way comes through on this show, so you understand really what we're putting out before you go and spend $1 on it. So without further ado, I'm going to just jump in. These are our final, I say final, right? These are our official release versions, version 1 of these 3 subclasses. So the Bard College of Color, I'm going to cut past most of the fluff as to, that's in there for you to read if you buy it and you want some inspiration. But the features that it gets: 3rd level, it gets color magic. You gain proficiency with the painter supplies, and you can use painter supplies as a spellcasting focus for your bard spells. So pretty straightforward, a nice flavorful little boost. And I know we're lagging in and out with Twitch, so please bear with me, folks. 1,000 words at 3rd level. And you may spend 1 minute and a use of your bardic inspiration to create a small painted token meant to inspire an ally in a moment of need. While a creature other than you carries the token, they have a bardic inspiration die that lasts until used, or the creature finishes a short or long rest. Just a nice little way to, the main bardic inspiration shtick of this class is you can make it way ahead of time and it lasts indefinitely, which is really nice compared to a lot of the other bards where bardic inspiration die only lasts about 10 minutes. And of course, they can always use bardic inspiration the old way as well. And then also at 3rd level, they get their core feature, which is impressionism. You can paint wondrous murals into existence. As an action, you can that's as large as a 5-foot square. When you do so, you infuse the painting with a bard spell spending a spell slot of the chosen spell's level or higher as part of this action. The spell must have a casting time of 1 action and must target either an area or a single creature. If the spell would require you to make a choice as part of the casting, You must make the choice at the same time the mural is painted. The chosen spell cannot have a range yourself. The mural emits dim light in a 5-foot radius, but has no other immediate effects. And when a creature comes in contact with the mural, the infused spell activates. If the spell targets a creature, it targets the activating creature. If it targets an area, the area is centered on that creature. If the spell requires concentration, you must begin concentrating on the infused spell at the moment of activation, or it fails and has no effect. Once the infused spell has been activated, the mural ceases shedding dim light and becomes a non-magical painting. The infused spell remains for 1 hour. This magic ends early if the surface is painted on, is altered, damaged, or moved. Additionally, the magic ends early if you use this feature again, or you choose to deactivate the mural on your turn, no action required. If you choose to deactivate the mural in this way, you regain a spell slot of the same level used to create it. A bit complicated there, but the basic gist of it is you can take your spells, you can paint them onto surfaces, and then other creatures can go and activate them. It's a very cool little idea. I mean, I could see players painting health packs, painting fireball traps. It's almost like a budget glyph of warding that you can just always keep putting down. It's a fun little feature that I think is going to be very core to any bard who wants to play this class. At 6th level, you get a feature called Cubism. I'm not going to go into a ton of detail on this guy. I think we've seen this in its current form before, but essentially you're able to paint non-magical things into existence. It has to be able to fit in a 5-foot cube, weigh less than 50 pounds, and the object that you paint has to be made of, or can only be made of either paper, cloth, wood, or non-precious stone or non-precious metal. So you can't make anything super valuable with this guy. I guess 50 pounds of steel is the best you could do. And if you create an object which would require a high degree of craftsmanship to create, the object is instead a crude imitation. So, for example, a suit of painted plate armor would look sturdy, but would be cumbersome to wear and offer no meaningful protection in battle. And you can use this feature a number of times equal to your charisma modifier and regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. So, very cool. You get to funny, Farku. Art isn't valuable. It is, Farku. It is. It's very valuable. But the things that you create into reality are not art anymore. They're things. But yeah, just a fun little feature. If you're going to be a painter, and that's going to be the core premise of your class, you want to be able to paint things into existence, and you get that not right off the, I mean, you sort of do. You can paint your spells into existence at 3rd level, and then now at 6th level, you can paint anything into existence, or at least any inanimate object. What if your bard is a body painter? I don't know. That's a very interesting question. Let's see. Surrealism is the level 14 feature, and this is kind of that next level, right? We paint our spells into existence. We paint objects of our choice into existence, and now at 14th level you can paint life into existence, right? So beginning at 14th level, you can bring your paintings to animated life. You can spend 1 minute painting on an adjacent surface to conjure a creature into existence. Choose any beast, elemental, fey, or plant of a challenge rating 5 or lower to represent this creature. The conjured creature is friendly to you and your companions. In combat, the creature shares your initiative count but takes its turn immediately after yours, and the creature obeys any verbal commands that you issue to them. No action required by you. If you don't issue any commands to them, they defend themselves from hostile creatures, but otherwise take no actions. The creature remains animated for 1 hour or until you stop concentrating, as if you are concentrating on a spell, at which point it dissolves back into paint. Once you use this feature, you must finish a long rest before you can use it again. So very neat little deal here with surrealism. You can basically paint things into existence. It's a very, very fun little deal. I really like the idea. And one of the things that changed from the previous iteration of the subclass that we showed on this channel is now you can paint things that aren't just beasts. You can paint elementals, like the Conjure Elemental spell. So that would be like the Earth Elemental, Fire Elemental, etc. You can paint Fae, which, oh boy, I'm sure there are some funky Fae you could paint into existence. I know there are definitely a couple hags that fall under challenge rating 5. And my favorite one is plants. So, I mean, I think the scariest plant you could do at CR5 currently is the Shambling Mound. And I just like the idea of the kind of almost modern art kind of painting, right? You're just throwing the paint, letting your emotions and your vigor go wild, and it just turns into shambling mound mass that you control. Very fun little deal. It's kind of the capstone, the pinnacle to that class fantasy, right, of painting things into existence. Can I paint pixies into existence and get unlimited polymorphs? You could paint one pixie into existence with surrealism, if you want, because once you use the feature, you can't, you must finish a long rest before you can use it again. So if you'd like to, you could do that for certain. False stuff, not painting you any more friendly nymphs. Oh boy. Roger, nice. Halo was saying 50 pounds of steel, 2 of those are enough for plate armor. Yeah, well, and that's why we had specifically the stipulation in here, right? That if you do create an object with that cubism feature, it is effectively a non-functional thing. I mean, you could create like a wall of something, could be very interesting. I'm sure there's a lot of it's such an open-ended ability that the sky's really the limit with what you can do with cubism, right? If you're creative enough, you can do a lot of really insane things, I bet. Just right off the bat, you know, I could imagine someone being like, oh, I'm going to paint a boat. Or I'm going to paint, I don't know, like the glass helmets, right, that you could wear underwater or something. A lot of cool ideas. Also, hello, Max. Welcome. Welcome to the stream. And lastly, of course, we have added this little section for playtest feedback. So paint a box and hide in it, V-Bunny was saying. Yes, you could do that for sure. But yeah, we have a nice little feedback option now. And in the, it's linked right in the document. So all you would do is you'd click this link and it would bring you to our website, which will redirect you to over here, our Fantasy Labs feedback page. So this is just a fun little way for us to get your feelings on the subclasses as you play with them, get some real playtest feedback, and if necessary, go back and make some revisions, just to get an idea of how people like it. Tell us what was working for you, what's not working for you, and helping us to guide our creative direction in the future. But yeah, it's a simple survey. You just say, what's your experience with the College of Color? And so you'd say I've either played it or I've seen it played in person, I've played it or seen it played online, or I've read it, but I haven't played it. If you've neither read it nor played it, please do not give us feedback on it. If you have not read it, seen it, or played it, if you have no experience with it, you don't know what it is. Anyway, so we're going to say, I've read it, but not seen it played. And we hit next. And that brings us on to our next little page here. And it'll tell you asterisks are required. And basically, it has all the different class features. So color magic, that lets you use your painter's supplies as your spellcasting focus. 1,000 words, which lets you do paint little objects of inspiration. Impressionism, which lets you paint your spells into existence. Cubism, which lets you paint things into existence. And surrealism, which lets you paint creatures into existence. And you just let us know on a really simple, dissatisfied to satisfied scale, what you think about it. Really straightforward, easy way to go. So if you think, man, I really wish, the painting color magic, being able to use your painter's tools as a spellcasting focus, that's cool, but I wish you did more. Maybe that's a neutral response, right? Or maybe you say, you know what, I'm glad it's nice and simple. I just get to use my paintbrush as my wand, right? And so maybe you hit that as satisfied. But that's our first question, really straightforward. We ask you some other questions, right? Does the flavor text of the document inspire you? Is the flavor text clear and comprehensible? Do you understand what we were trying to get across? Do the mechanics inspire you? Are the mechanics clear and comprehensible? And is the subclass well balanced overall? And then at the end, you could add any extra comments you have just to give us a good idea of, if there's something specific, like if you rated everything as strongly agree, but then say it's not well balanced, this is where we really would want to know, well, why? If you loved everything, why don't you think it's balanced? And maybe it's just the idea that it's not powerful enough for you, or who knows? But anyway, then you just submit your form once you've filled these guys all out. And of course, you don't have to leave extra comments if you don't want to. And yeah, we would greatly appreciate that if you do get the opportunity to play or play with someone who gets to play this subclass or any of our subclasses. We would love to get that kind of feedback for you from you. And again, it should be just right inside the document, the link right at the end. So that was the College of Color. We also have the College of Mystique and the College of Psychology that went out. Roger Dwight, just paint a big meatball. Yeah, Roger Dwight, there's nothing at all in this that says you couldn't paint a big meatball. Now, you couldn't paint a big, good meatball because there, you could maybe argue, it depends on what your DM says, but your DM might argue that a really tasty meatball would require a high degree of craftsmanship. So you could make like a very mediocre imitation of a meatball. It tastes like a meatball-ish, and it's very big. 5 foot, 50-pound meatball. Oh my God. See, this is exactly what we're getting at, Raz. Give me some crazy stuff. Wouldn't it taste like cardboard? Oh, I mean, not necessarily. You know, it doesn't, it's just the only stipulation here, excuse me, is that things that would require a lot of craftsmanship, you can't make into existence. You could make just a big mediocre meatball if you want. Blood was saying, I personally maintain that this could have been an artificer subclass, but I'm glad you guys are getting your work further out there. Yeah, I mean, here's the awesome thing about this, Blood. This doesn't bar an artificer from having a subclass like this in the future, right? I don't think what is in here necessarily prevents a similar concept from being executed for the artificer, especially since it's all homebrew. And if you ever make one, we would love to see it, and we'd love for you to share it, so we could all take a look at it here on the show. B-Bunny's saying, I think in an all-bard party, testing this would really allow you to analyze and compare to the other bards. Yeah, I mean, it definitely might. I mean, you know, Marble Man, you were saying, why wouldn't it taste like cardboard? If you really wanted, I guess you could have it taste like cardboard. Generic brand meatball. Yeah, exactly, Matty Works. A 5 foot, 50-pound solid stone rock. I mean, yeah, 50 pounds isn't that heavy when it's 5 foot cube. It's like a big hollow rock. I mean, actually, that's something you could do, V-Bunny, right? You could create a big, like, hollow rock that you could just, like, whoop, hide under. Dick butts everywhere, Farku says. I mean, the sky's the limit with the College of Color. You can do anything you want here. Flipped Out was saying, I think using different art styles as different class skills is a clever little thing. I know. It made me really happy too. I really like the idea that we were able to kind of take these classical art styles and weave them in a little bit to the concept and to the aesthetic of the subclass and its features.